I think I want to hold on to this idea of global North actors misunderstanding context, because I know, Thelma, this is a pet peeve of yours. So I'm wondering if you could maybe speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, I think in the last years we have been in a polycrisis, and I think one of the key things that you have really pointed out is the lack of understanding on the context, which also goes hand in hand with the lack of understanding of the population, the demographic itself, and especially speaking of the majority South. I think we have come to understand that all women and girls in the majority South, be it in Asia, in Africa, or wherever, are vulnerable. But I beg to differ that, especially us as scholars, we need to start questioning the parameters that are only defining us from a single identity that we are vulnerable. I would also want to give an example of the floods as well. I was one of the key people conducting a rapid gender assessment, which is usually done in conflict or in a humanitarian setting. And then this was one of the most devastating floods in Malawi, which communities really took initiative to take something on their own. There was an area that we went to, there was no aid for 2 weeks, but then there was a group of women that managed to gather themselves, created a shelter, and started treating people by the few resources that they had. And then when I wrote this in the report and then presented it to the authorities, they said this is not eligible. Which organization enabled them to do that? So it's like we're always viewed that we are waiting for a savior to come, which is in most of the case, it's like the legitimate white savior or a legitimate Red Cross, Medicine Sans Frontières, and all these organizations, but we are equally capable. So the danger of a single side story, as Chimamanda has said, these identities, we need to start denying them. It's not that we want to deny that we're vulnerable, no, but we have to move beyond the dichotomy of there's a donor and there's a recipient, or there is a vulnerable person or a resilient person. We are equally capable, and we need to move around the temporal spaces that we can also equally occupy and move beyond the agency that is defined in the West, but rather occupy the agencies that we already have and we can also teach the West.